Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy honey cake. This recipe is perfect when you want something homemade and cozy without spending hours rolling out dough layers. The cake comes together very quickly, bakes in one sheet, and after a few hours in the fridge it becomes incredibly soft and delicate. This recipe is for a smaller cake, but if you want to make a bigger one, simply double the ingredients. So let's get started. In a saucepan, add 150 grams of butter, 90 grams of sugar, 100 grams of honey, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Place everything over medium heat and keep stirring until the butter melts completely and the mixture becomes smooth. You don't need to boil it, just melt everything together. The smell at this stage is already amazing. Warm honey always makes the kitchen feel so cozy and comforting. Once everything is melted, turn off the heat and add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix it right away. The mixture will immediately start foaming and expanding in volume, and that reaction is exactly what gives that cake its soft texture. Let the mixture cool for a few minutes so the eggs don't cook from the heat. Then add 2 eggs, one at a time. Mix quickly after each addition until smooth. Next, add a pinch of salt and 200 grams of all-purpose flour. Mix everything together until no dry flour remains. The batter should stay soft and easy to spread. And this is one of the reasons I love this recipe so much. There is no rolling out dough and almost no mess in the kitchen. Now take a large baking tray, mine is about 17 by 11 inches, and line it with parchment paper. Pour the batter onto the tray and spread it evenly across the surface. I like using a spatula for this so the layers bake evenly. So if you're making a bigger cake, you can either use 2 baking sheets or simply bake the batter in 2 batches. The layers should stay pretty thin. That's what makes this honey cake so soft after it chills. Before baking, lightly tap the tray on the counter a few times. That helps the batter spread out more evenly. Bake in a preheated oven at 355 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. But every oven is a little different, so keep an eye on it near the end. The cake should become golden on top. You can also check it with a toothpick. If it comes out clean, the cake is ready. Remove it from the oven and use a toothpick to make small holes all over the top. This will help the cake absorb the cream better later. Now carefully transfer it onto the table and cut it into 4 equal pieces. If you're making a bigger cake, simply cut the large rectangle in half. Let the cake cool slightly. Then carefully remove the layer from the parchment paper using a spatula and place them on top of each other. Be gentle because the cake is very soft and tender. Trim the edges with a knife and make everything even. The layers can get a little sticky, so try to work very quickly. Then separate them again and don't throw away the scraps because we will use them for the topping later. For the topping, place the cake scraps together with 70 grams of walnuts into a blender and blend until you get fine crumbs. Then set it aside for now. And now let's make the cream. In a large bowl, add 300 grams of cold heavy cream and 100 grams of powdered sugar. Whip until hard peaks form. Just be careful not to over-whip it, because we still want the cream to stay smooth and light. Then add 300 grams of sour cream and mix just until combined. I really like this cream combination for honey cake because it's creamy, light, and not overly sweet. It balances the honey flavor perfectly. Now it's time to assemble everything. Take a cake stand or plate. I'm just using a simple cutting board for this shape of cake. Start with the first cake layer and spread a generous amount of cream on top. Don't be afraid to add a lot. The layers will absorb the cream while chilling and become incredibly soft. Place this second layer on top. Try not to press down, just gently place it over the cream and continue the same process with the remaining layers. And while frosting the cake, don't forget to cover the sides as well. At the end, use the remaining cream to smooth out the top and sides with a spatula. Now cover the entire cake with the walnut crumbs we prepared earlier. You can use your hand or a spatula for this part. And at the end, lightly clean the plate with a damp paper towel to make everything look nice and neat. I really love how simple and homemade this cake looks. At this point, the cake needs some time in the fridge. Place it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours, so the layers can fully soften and absorb the cream. But honestly, the best result is after resting overnight. And here is the final result. You can decorate the cake with berries, fruit, on anything you like, or simply keep it classic and simple like that. This recipe is very easy, quick to make, and perfect when you want something homemade without too much work. If you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!